Shalom, shalom, everyone. This is Yisrael with another Sabbath day class. Welcome to everyone to our weekly Sabbath day class. We'd like to welcome all of you all. If this is your first time, we say welcome. And also, just excited about where we're going today. We're excited about how we're growing. After last week's class, we had a young man to contact us from Australia, and very interested in, participating. And then a lady contacted me on my email and was like, well, can I please study with you all? This is an open invitation. For all of you all who are listening, this is an open invitation. One thing we don't do here is debate. We provide you with the information. If you want to go home and pick it apart and do whatever you want to do with it, that's totally up to you. We don't do any debating. Because we bring forth the topics, and we hope that, they are encouraging and they help you to study so that when the time comes for you to present this to your friends, family members, whomever, you'll have the information and the scriptures that you need. So we're excited about that. If I could have Sister Sanaya be so kind as to tell you all how to get on the screen before we start, I would appreciate that.
Okay, sure. All right. Go to your URL line and type in www.freeconferencecall.com. Hit enter. Okay, when you get to the page, you'll see a drop-down menu at the top, starting with freeconferencecall.com. Go to online meetings. Click on online meetings, drop down and click where you see join meeting. Okay, then you'll see a small white box open up entitled join meeting. Okay, and there you type newcomers class, newcomers with an S, class, all one word, lowercase letters. And then hit submit. Okay, then you'll see a larger white box where it asks you for your name. Type in your name. Down below it asks you for your email address. Type that in. And then you'll see a blue box down below that says join. So hit join. And that should take you right into the screen room.
All right, there we go. And from here on out, if you guys have to know that and, you haven't contacted her, or what would be a good idea, Sister Sanaya, is when I send you the emails for the people who want information on the class, if we have something, we could just send it to them so that they'll be able to do that. That would probably be better for you.
I do, and it's usually also in my... I send the instructions out with the general information, and then also I give some of the information in our reminders. And
good, okay.
I send out reminders every week.
Okay, great. All right, then. Well, there we go. I hope you guys can see the screen. I have started sharing. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Wonderful. Now, one good thing about this is a spinoff from last week. Last week we talked about the chariots of Israel. If any of you are being kicked out of the call, please put it on the chat line, on the chat, so we can contact them and find out why. You guys are being kicked out. Shalom, Kimberly. We see you there. Shalom, shalom. Because we don't want anybody to miss anything. We want everyone to have access to the board, and this is supposed to be a conference call that is available to everyone around the world. So, if it's not working, we definitely need to let them know that. All right. Shalom, shalom. We had a really good class last week. We had a lot of people in the class this week and last week, and we hope to have the same thing this week. So we're going to go ahead and get started. The deception of Israel. Now, the reason why, and it's just not the deception of Israel, I think it's going to be, it is. when I think about it. When you think about who Israel is, yes, it's going to be a great deception. And the reason why I say that is because of the things that have been already put in place. So I want to start out with sharing some scriptures with you all, as we always do, and I always stay in the Bible. I could go to the Apocrypha, which was a part of the 1611 King James Bible, but most people don't have that. So the reason why I stay in the King James Version that we have now is because when you bring this information to people, the first thing they're going to say is prove it. Or they'll say, what book you get that out of? That Bible that's sitting over there with that dust on top of it is where we got it from. So that's what we have to do, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So the next slide that we have here is, part 2 is the deception of Israel. This is an open forum. If you have any questions, comments, please let me know. I know sometimes Jalen be whispering, I got a comment, and people be talking over him. So, Jalen, you might have to use the chat line if you're here today. All right, here we go, the deception. It says there are many UFOs appearing in the sky, but how do we properly identify them? I know there are man-made UFOs out there, and they are deceiving the people. Here we go. We need to know that it's a difference between man-made UFOs and heavenly chariots. We also need to be aware that it's a possibility for good and bad angels to be walking on the earth now. How many people agree to that?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I agree.
We have to come to the conclusion that this earth is being inhabited with more people than just us.
That's true.
Now they look like us, and they interact with us, but there's more going on than what we think. So this is going to be the basis of the deception. I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Here we go. They are coming to earth. What does the Bible say about it? All right, here we go. The man of perdition, who is he? Somebody tell me who the man of perdition is, or who you think he is.
The Pope.
Say again?
I said the Pope.
Some people think it's the Pope. Okay, why do you say that?
Well, I did a little reading in that book, the National Sunday Law.
Uh-huh.
And the Pope indicated, he made one statement that he said that he was the vicar of God. So that's putting him above everything, as far as I'm concerned. He thinks he's God on earth.
He does. He really does. I mean, that's just not a statement. He really does. And they run everything too. Rome runs it all. They run all of the religions and everything. Nobody is separate from Rome. So that's a possibility. That's very interesting. Let's see what happens. He says, what will he do? His rise and appearing expressed in the word revealed. That is, that great and chief Antichrist upon the apostasy or falling away shall be an extent and show himself to the world. Everybody's waiting on this man to come on the scene. The church is ready. That's why I tell people, when we start talking about this is it, this is over, y'all getting ready to come and get us, it's too many things that have to take place first. It's too many things. There's too many things that have to be revealed first before this thing can happen, because this is all a part of his word. Watch. A thing is said to be revealed two ways. Either when it's in being or when it is discovered. Both ways are proper here. So a lot of people are saying, well, he hasn't come forward yet, so how do we know he's coming? Because the scripture says that he's coming. All right, here we go. He will be evil. He shall publicly appear exercising a tyranny in the world, or cast off his veil and show himself in his colors. This man is going to come across first trying to save the situations that we're in, but after a while they're going to see that he is pure evil. Hold on, here we go. Yah allows it. God by his providence permitted him to be, and by all signs and wonders will set out to deceive the whole world. Then the Most High is going to give him the ability to be able to do things that he's going to do, and this is going to be a problem. Somebody tell me why it's going to be a problem. when this man come on the scene performing all kind of miracles and things? How is that a problem for Israel?
Maybe because most people will believe it.
Yeah, they're going to believe it. And Yisrael, especially if he's black, Yisrael is going to believe that that's the Messiah, or Yah. The Old Testament people going to believe that's Yah, and the New Testament people going to believe that's the Messiah. This is where the problem is going to come in at, because this is not going to be somebody just talking. This man is going to have the power to bring, he's going to have signs in heaven. He's going to be doing more miracles and all kind of stuff, and people are going to be just flabbergasted by his powers that he has. Okay, let's see what it says. It says, what does the Bible say about him? Now we're getting ready to get into Scriptures. The man of perdition. It says, we know from Scripture that in the end times a great false Christ called the Antichrist, also called the man of sin, will appear performing great signs and lying wonders. This is in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 9. He going to come in here doing some wild stuff. All kind of stuff is going to be happening. Fire from heaven, calling down fire from heaven, healing people from sicknesses and diseases. And guess what? I laid dollars to donuts that if somebody got a sick child and this child been sick, they're not going to just watch their baby die like that, and this man has the power to heal this baby.
Right.
They're going to take their baby to that man to get healed, aren't they?
Right. Mhm.
And it's going to come with conditions, isn't it?
Yep.
So this is where we're starting at. Here we go. It's the last day king, Daniel chapter 11, verse 36 through 39. And the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods. Who is the God of gods?
Yeah.
That's Yah, right? And shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished, for that is determined shall be done. So what I did was I established him in the New Testament, and now I'm going to turn around and establish him in the Old Testament, because we have to make this establishment, because it's a lot of people that don't believe this stuff will even exist. They be like, no, that ain't going to happen. We don't know. The words say it's going to happen, so we're going to see. Here we go. I'm sorry to make this. This is Daniel 11, verse 36 through 39. He said, no regard for any God. Neither shall he regard the God of his father, nor the desire of women, nor regard any God, for he shall magnify himself above all. When I read that, I said, is he going to be an Israelite? Because it says, neither shall he regard the God of his fathers.
Exactly.
I said, is he going to be an Israelite?
Is this in Daniel as well?
Neither shall he regard the God of his.
So in order for the elect to be fooled, somebody say, is he a homosexual?
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
That's a real good question. But guess what? For the elect to be fooled, he can't come in as a white man, because Israel ain't going to go for that under no circumstances.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
the Israelites, Hebrew Israelite men are not going for no man coming on the scene professing to be Yah. He's going to have to be of color. Because they said the very elect is going to be fooled. I said, does that mean he's an Israelite by blood? Nor the desire of a woman. Somebody said, is he a homosexual? Possibility. Nor regard any God, for he shall magnify himself above all. This is what he's getting ready to do. Here we go. It said, the God of forces, but watch what it says in 38. But in his estate shall he honor the God of forces. A God whom his fathers knew not shall he honor with gold and silver and with precious stones and pleasant things. So there's some something whoever this person is, he is going to invite a deity to come on the scene, and he's going to worship this deity and honor this deity. See what it say? Rule over many. Watch, this is very important. He said, verse 39, thus shall he do in the most strongholds with a strange God, whom he shall acknowledge and increase with glory, and he shall cause them to rule over many and divide the land for gain. Who is them? He's talking about a strange God. Just wanted to leave that in there whenever you. It says great signs. It says, if the devil inspired false prophets, sin will fly the beast from the earth. Revelation 13:11, he performs great signs so that even he makes fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. This is how powerful this man getting ready to be. He's going to be on the Elisha status, but he's not going to be Elisha. It seems likely that end time ruptures in the threshold between our world and the spirit world will result in strange signs in heaven and other phenomena. The devil has come down. It says, indeed, the force that false prophets will attune to will be in full force, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he haveth but a short time. It's going to get good, y'all. Just give me a minute, because we're going to get into some stuff. Limited time. That is, the devil knows that the time is limited in which he will be permitted to wage war against the saints on the earth, and that's Daniel 7:21. Satan knows that he must do all he can to deceive and to destroy and to spread woe through the earth. Many visible signs. It says, when the devil is cast down, Revelation 12, it is likely the unleashing of all the powers of the dark side will produce many visible signs of this alien and demonic invasion. Now, wonder what that's going to be like. We're already seeing residue of it now. Do you know how many signs I've seen? I walked out of the grocery store the other day, and you know how you had a little Red Cross lady used to be in there with the little bucket ringing the bell around Christmas time for you to put the money in there for the Red Cross? Guess what they was collecting money for? Human trafficking.
Wow.
Because people are coming up missing. I mean, you just think about it. You got people coming up missing. You got men sleeping with men. You got women sleeping with women. You got men and women sleeping with animals. You got all kind of debauchery going on all over the earth. I mean, and it's going to get worse.
Right.
This is going to get terribly worse. We have not seen anything yet, because once he hits this earth, and he comes, and you know what? If I pull up Revelation chapter 12, there's an order that he goes into, because he's going to face, first of all, he's going to face Israel. And Israel, the woman, is going to flee into the wilderness. It says we're going to go into the wilderness, and the earth, he's going to come against us. They're going to let us leave, but then he's going to come against us and say the earth is going to help us. Once he realizes that he cannot get to us, just like they did with Egypt, he's going to turn around and come and wage war against the remnant of our seed, our family members, our children who didn't go, the people who are still believing that the rapture is going to take place, the Israelites who don't believe that it was time for them to go nowhere. He's going to come wage war on them. And most people know nothing about the wilderness as it relates to the church.
Right.
They still waiting on the rapture to take place. Watch. It says the distress of nations. He said at this time there will be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and on the earth distress of nations with perplexity, and the sea and the waves roaring. It says men's hearts will fail them. Men's hearts failing them for fear and the expectation of those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Anybody have any questions? No? Okay, let's go on. The end times. These events are surely related to the devil's end-time activity. Here we go. Now it's getting ready to get interesting. They are preparing to fight. The armies of this world will turn to fight him. Yes, friends. When the Messiah and his army of holy angels appear in the heavens, some will undoubtedly think we are truly being invaded by aliens, creatures from other planets, just like in the movies. Watch, I want to show you something. I ran across something this weekend that I really want to show you, and it blew me back. I was at work, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, this is unbelievable that this has happened, but it's real. These people are really in getting ready to fight against, they're getting ready to protect America. America, not just the world, America. And I couldn't believe what I read when I read it, but I was like, wow, this is really serious. Hold on just a minute. I'm almost here. I'm going to get you together right now because we're getting ready to get into some serious stuff here. Hold on just a second. I'm trying to pull up the article is what I'm doing so you guys can see it because I saved it, of course, from work. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. All right. Here we go. All right. Okay, I'm opening up the screen. This is, I'm going to read the article first, and then I'm going to let him say it for himself. I'm going to read the article first. It says, America will dominate the heavens under Trump and Pence. Did you hear what he said? Watch. On earth as it is in heaven, including weapons. While delivering a speech at Kennedy Space Station in Florida Thursday, Vice President Mike Pence promised the American people that under President Donald Trump, the United States will control the heavens, presumably meaning space. As he said it does the world. He said, as we once again lead in space exploration, we will continue to make the investments and presence in space to ensure the safety and security of the American people, Pence said. Space is vital to our national security. I saw it firsthand when I visited Schriever Air Force Base just a few weeks ago. And I can assure you, under President Donald Trump, America's security will be as dominant in heaven as we are here on earth. You know that was directed to us, don't you?
Wow.
Yes, how? Tell me how.
I'm just saying, you know, what have we been saying all along? Yah is on his way. Yah getting ready to destroy. Yah getting ready to bring his army. You ain't going to have to worry about nothing. We ain't got to pick up a stick. You know the things we've been saying. You just assured the American people that they're ready to fight in space.
Yes, so.
That's mass weapons of destruction is for Yehudah and his army. It's not even for us, the people.
This is incredible.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine the boldness?
That is bold and arrogant. That is
arrogant. That's what that is. Yeah.
You know, these are the things that, you know, when me and Brother Doniel always said, you know, that Donald Trump is the right man for the position. He is the right man. You know what? This solidified it for me. I said, no, you didn't. It says space warfare is an area of increasing concern. The House Armed Services Committee approved a proposal last week that would create a new branch of military called the Space Corps, which would work to monitor satellites and ward off cyber threats. In addition to addressing national security concerns, Pence also promised the U.S. would tackle new challenges in space that focus less on dominating the heavens and more on exploring them. We will beat back any disadvantage. Where is it? Hold on. It's done left me for a minute. I don't know what happened. Here we go. We will beat back any disadvantage that lack our attention has placed, and America will once again lead in space, Pence said. We will return our nation. We'll go to Mars. We will still go further to places that our children's children can only imagine. We will maintain a constant presence in low Earth orbit, and we will develop policies that will carry human space exploration across our solar system and ultimately into the vast expanses. As the President has said, space is, in his words, the next great American frontier. And like the pioneers that came before us, we will settle that frontier with American leadership, American courage, and American ingenuity. Trump tasked the Vice President with leading the relaunched National Space Council. Despite Pence's promise, though, the President has yet to name an administrator for NASA, and his budget calls for slashing the agency's funds for programs that are more Earth-centric. Gone entirely, for instance, would be the $115 million educational program. Now, I'm going to let you hear him say it in his own words so that you can hear what he said. Let me open up the mic so you'll be able to hear it. Here we go.
We will go to Mars, and we will still go further to places that our children's children can only imagine. We will maintain a constant presence in low Earth orbit, and we'll develop policies that will carry human space exploration across our solar system and ultimately into the vast expanse of space. As the President has said, space is, in his words, the next great American frontier. We won the race a half-century ago, and now we will get back to winning in the 21st century and beyond. Under the leadership of President Donald Trump and with the guidance of the National Space Council, the United States of America will usher in a new era of space leadership that will benefit every facet of our national life. We will strengthen our economy. We will unlock new opportunities, new technologies, and new sources of prosperity. We will inspire our children to seek education in science, technology, engineering, and math. We'll enhance our common defense and advance the security of the American people.
All right, you guys, what do you say about that? That was...
Wow.
Well,
this was Thursday.
A lot of people missed that.
Yes, ma'am. This was Thursday. This was on Thursday.
Wow.
Said I got you covered. We're going to make sure we do what we need to do to make sure America stays safe. Mm-hmm. Ain't nothing going to happen to America. We're going to be here for the long haul. We're going to spend enough money to get up there so that we can protect the American people from anything that's coming from the space. Everybody done got quiet.
I didn't see this one, but I saw that other one. They had a watered-down version of this where they had all the old astronauts lined up together, and they made a big deal at the, I think, what's his, Aldridge, that the astronaut guy, he was standing up there looking all real funny when Trump was talking, when he was introducing this program. But this particular article right here, I didn't see that. I did not see that one.
You know what I did, don't you? I belted something out and I had to hold my mouth like, be quiet. I was like, y'all done lost your mind.
That one's good. That one's good.
Make sure. Now listen at the arrogancy of it. No matter what, we're going to make sure America going to be all right.
Yep. Yep. They know what's coming.
Now, guess what? If something happens where they impeach Trump, guess who's going to be the next one in line? This man you looking at
that
right here.
Wow. He's ready, too.
Yes, ma'am. You better believe it. You better believe it.
Okay.
Ma'am, any questions at all whatsoever? If you all need the article, I would be more than happy to send it to you. I'm going to send out all the resources so you guys will have it. You can see it, and we can do what we need to do because I'm telling you, they're getting us prepared for something that's getting ready to happen, and this is where the deception is going to come in at. And these people are preparing to fight in the war. They're preparing to fight in the heavens.
Yeah.
They're preparing. And if somebody would be so kind to put their phone on mute, if you could for me, I don't know if you something, but we can hear all of that noise. All right, here we go. Back to Daniel chapter 11. Let's read it again. The last day king. Watch what he says. I'm going to read it to you again so you know. And the king shall do according to his will, his own will. He shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods, and shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished. For that is determined shall be done. Don't that sound like what's happening now with the with the leadership that we have in there today?
Yeah. Mhm.
Nerve. Neither regard for any god. Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of a woman, nor regard of any god, for he shall magnify himself above God. So guess what? Irregardless to what the scriptures say, and this man's supposed to be a staunch Christian. No matter what the scriptures say, no matter what they hear in the Hebrew Israelites say, they letting you know we getting ready to go to battle to protect our interests.
Mhm.
Because America is our wealth. We're not giving that up without a fight. Boy. You know, somebody said, I believe Revelation 18 refers to the United States. It's a possibility. And it says the God of forces, but in his estate he shall honor the God of forces, a God whom his fathers knew not. Shall he honor with gold and with silver, with precious stones, and with pleasant things. Who is the God of forces? Here we go. The God of forces mentioned here in Daniel 11, he is the God, the master, the king deity to the demon spirits, a demonic force, which are the forces. All of the demonic forces that you have, this is what they call the God of the forces. And who might that be? The Bible calls him Abaddon, Apollyon, the serpent. What we call him? Lucifer.
Yep, Lucifer.
Yeah. That's who he is. That's who he going to honor. And guess what? Thus shall he do in the most stronghold with the strange God, whom he shall acknowledge. He's going to acknowledge him and increase with glory. He's going to give him glory. And then he's going to cause him to rule over many. So whenever they come, they're going to divide the land for money. So once again, the land is going to be divided, and they're going to put their people over the different places of the land. Now, I heard some other Hebrew Israelites teach this, and I'm like, no, you really off because you're trying to rush things. You done skip past too many things. And then we say, how are they going to control the people? This is the great deception. Here we go. They created religion. A new conspiracy theorist says before religious texts like the Bible were written, alien life form visited Earth and were seen as gods by more primitive humans. Watch. So they created the Bible. Now they're going to say, we created all of this stuff. Mm-hmm. We the ones who put all this stuff together. You all didn't create anything. We made you, and we gave you these stories so that you would believe what we told you. Mm. It's going to be the next deception. Watch. Returning to retrieve. It says in an article entitled, Aliens Are Coming Back to Retrieve Their Religion, the website uninternationalproject.com tried to explain their theory. They believe that they're coming back. It says, based on alien gods, its claims either aliens created the religious texts for the benefit of mankind, or they were written by humans based on alien gods who visited at that time. So think about it. Now think about it. Didn't we say that y'all traveled from space last week? Didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
We said y'all traveled in a vehicle last week, didn't we? Yes. Didn't we say that he has an army that travels in vehicles and on horses too?
That's right.
Yep.
So what's to stop them from saying, well, that's an alien god?
The trickery doesn't stop. It doesn't stop.
It never stops. So if we're saying that our God travels in a vehicle and our God is God and that he has alien vehicles at his disposal and that they travel in and out of our dimension, well, they're going to say, well, this is what we're trying to tell you in the first place. We're the ones who created the story because we're the ones who came. We made up the story of Yah and the children of Israel.
Wow.
This is the great deception. And they'll say, but what about Christ? Well, what about Christ? If he came on the earth and he inhabited a body of a human, either he was one or two things. Either he was a hybrid or he was an alien.
No.
Because he's not from this world.
They got an answer for everything. I mean, it's just out there.
Really?
It's going to get serious.
Just make up something. Just make up, think of something.
But guess what? It sounds plausible, don't it?
Yes, it does.
If you weren't rooted and grounded, it sounds plausible, don't it?
Yeah, to people who don't know.
There you go.
Hey, people who don't know. Remember, he's going to have signs and wonders. He's going to control all religions. All of them. Watch.
I have a question.
What will religion do? Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Oh, my question is, so is the great deception, is that part of the strong delusion that God said he would send on the people that rejected the truth? It's thinking First Thessalonians.
Yes, ma'am. It's going to be part of that. Yes, ma'am. That's part of it. It's going to be it's going to be great deception for those who rejected the truth. It's going to be a great deception for those who think they know the truth. It's going to be a great deception for all the whole earth, because you're going to have to make up in your mind either you're going to stand still and know what you believe and don't follow the crowd, or you're going to go see what's going on. Because remember, even in the New Testament, he said there's going to be many that's going to come in my name. He said, but don't go. He said they're going to be over here, they're going to be over there, they're going to be doing, but don't go. That's a part of it. He said, what will religion do? He said, if we wake up tomorrow morning to the news that we've made contact with intelligent aliens, how will religion respond? Some believe that the discovery will set us on a path, the end goal of which will be to outgrow religion. Well, guess what? We already have outgrown religion, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
Because we know that religion has nothing to do with us. Are we a religion or are we a nation?
A nation.
A nation.
Y'all sounding real sleepy today, boy. We are a nation, so we don't really believe in a religion per se. We believe that Bible is our history book, and now that it's come out that that's our history book, we are losing a lot of the people. A lot of the people now are standing back saying, well, I don't even know if I believe in that Bible no more, especially the people from the other nations. Because the more it increases that it's about us and it's less about them, the more they're going to go against it, because they're not going to be a part of something that they're not included in.
Right.
Don't get to it. We're on our way there. Hold on. World with aliens. It says certain aspects of religion will have to be reconsidered, but not totally abandoned. But it's ahistorical to assume that religion is too weak to survive in a world with aliens. How are you going to have them both? They're going to come in to our dispensation or to our atmosphere in a way that's going to rock the whole world. And when they come in, you're going to be able to decide, is this God or is this not? Are these the gods or is this God himself? And I want to ask you a question. Is anybody on this line stable enough to be able to handle that?
I don't know.
See?
So.
Yeah.
Especially if they come in doing works of wonder.
Right.
Click there now, and here's Alfredo de los Santos.
No, this is real serious here.
I think we will be stable, and the reason is because it's about relationships and it's about that spirit.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was told, it was a great advice, whenever something is pushing you, it is not Yah. He is not bound by time. He's not bound by space. Just be still. And that's what I've always learned. Still myself. So whenever something like the crowd is going.
But isn't the most important thing is for us to understand and remember how he's going to return? I mean, isn't it how we tell the difference between the two? If we're talking about Christ and Antichrist, maybe I'm getting.
Well, I mean, that's good. You're right. You're absolutely right. It is. That's a good way to put it. That is definitely a good way to put it, how he's going to return. But guess what? When you got somebody pushing something in your psyche and you got something, they're pushing this propaganda at you, and it's constantly on every news channel, every time you turn the channel, on the radio stations, everywhere you go, you're going to be curious.
But also,
and the curiosity is what you're going to have to fight, because they're coming with many signs and wonders.
But this is why we're studying now, to know the Scriptures, because if it goes contrary to the Scriptures...
Right.
You're right. Because I was reading the Scripture that it says that your word, my word is your wisdom. So I agree with the sister. If we stay in the word, then God always give us his wisdom, his discernment. So I think that's the safest,
Yeah, we have to really rely on that spirit. We have to really rely on our spirit. We really have to.
I hope that when that time comes, we all pass the test, because it's going to have to be a very, very serious time, or he wouldn't have put in the Scripture that the very elect could be fooled.
Right.
Woo.
I hope, and you're right, this is why we having these Bible classes, so we can lay everything out on the table, so you will at least have the options to know, and when the time comes and we're not able to talk like this, and when the time comes when we're not able to express ourselves like this, that you will remember. And like I said, I would advise you all to download the YouTube clips and stuff and put them on CDs, put them on something where you can listen to them, so that they can encourage you in the time when the time comes. So that we will, because we don't know what it's going to be like.
Right.
So we know it's going to be a one-world government.
Irish nachos.
Okay, hopefully, won't we be in the wilderness by the time a lot of this stuff goes down?
No, ma'am. Because if you go to, let me go to it right now. I'm gonna read it to you. The best thing to do is to read it to you. I don't want to I don't want to tell you. I want to read it to you. Let's go to Revelation chapter 12. And I heard a brother teach this, and I was like, you are so off. Oh, my gosh, you are really off, but we'll see. Revelation chapter 12. And it says, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto Yah, to his throne. Watch what it says. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of Yah, that they should feed her there 1,260 days, which equals to 3.5 years. And there was a war in heaven, and Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Now, I want to make a point. There's a difference. We were told in Christianity that 1/3 of the angels went with Lucifer when he left the earth. I'm going to read this one up here again so you know that that's not true. His tail, verse 4, drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. So 1/3 of the people, 1/3 of the beings were swept out by his tail. But down here, when we read here, it says, and his angels were cast out with him. There's a difference. How many of us are going to make it when it's all over with?
1/3.
1/3.
Mm-hmm.
This restores that third that was cast out of heaven by his tail. Only 1/3. Watch what it says. And it says, and here it goes. It says, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our Yah and the power of his Yeshua. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our Elohim day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimonies, and they loved not their lives unto death. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, that ye that dwell in them. When then it says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And when the dragon saw, now watch what he said. Now here you go, Sister Sanaya. And when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. And to the woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might do what? Fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, that's 1, times, that's 2, and half a time, that's a half, from the face of the serpent. So we're going to interact with them some kind of way before we leave here.
Okay.
I wish I could tell you that we weren't going to be, but I believe we will. He said, and the serpent cast out of his mouth waters as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. And watch what it says. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon cast out of his mouth. Watch the last verse. It says, and the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which kept the commandments of Yah and had the testimony of Jesus Christ.
Wondering what if?
So I don't think so. I don't think that we're going to miss out on anything. I think we're going to see a whole lot, because how else is your heart going to fail you for the things that your eyes are going to see?
Right.
Yep.
I mean, it just is. All right, here we go. Warning from NASA. This is important. Dr. Norman Burgeon, a distinguished engineer who worked with NASA's Ames Research Center in Moffett Field, California, said the rings of the planets are a massive meeting place for extraterrestrial. He's talking about Saturn. He said he claims alien UFO spaceships have started proliferating at a shocking rate on the planet's many rings, which are made up of spacecraft and their exhaust fumes, but the world-changing evidence has been covered up at a high level within the United States government. This is NASA. The former NASA engineer, who has written books on his claim and done numerous interviews, believe that the number of UFO crafts in the solar system has reached a critical level.
Wow.
Here we go. Let's see what he says. I'm going to play him in a minute. Multiplying and spreading. Bizarrely, Dr. Burgeon claims the spaceships include living entities, which use the rings as a source of energy and are multiplying and spreading to other planets such as Uranus and Jupiter. His job, Dr. Burgess developed roll stability laws for airplanes, missiles, and rockets. That's what he did. He said, Dr. Burgess, who served on the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, the NACA, and worked with Lockheed Martin on high-profile, top-secret aerospace projects. First launched his theory in 1986 with his book Ring Makers of Saturn, but continued to promote it and is annoyed that scientists do not appear to be giving it any credence. Now, I'm going to show you what he said about the people. I saved all the videos so that I wouldn't have to do this all the time, but I want you to hear what he has to say. This is Dr. Burgess, and he's doing an interview. I'm going to start back here where we can hear it. He talks really low, so I'm going to kind of turn it up so you can hear it. Here we go.
Okay, people have asked me about, I call them vehicles, okay? Right. Now, I did not call them objects. That was too neuter for me. Okay. I had a Stanford professor say you ought to call them objects. No, they have all qualities of a vehicle. They can move, they're just like a missile or anything like that. So that much we can say about them, for sure.
Okay.
So I'm calling it a vehicle.
Okay.
Okay, somebody comes along and says, well, now, where would you manufacture one that's 2.5 Earth lengths long? And that's a hard question to answer.
So are you not positing the idea that those vehicles contain, beings who are, maybe like us?
I only go along with government images. And if you want to know about people kind of thing, there is the ship that picked up the Voyager capsule at Alameda Naval Shipyard, and they have a picture there of I think it's the Apollo flight that Buzz and Neil were on. But anyway, there is one image there that shows black people getting off.
So people with dark skin getting off.
Not dark, black.
Black skin.
Really black. Yeah.
Were they tall?
Yes.
Very tall?
Yeah.
How tall? Do you know?
Well, they got out the doorway. I don't know how high that is, but
well, what?
Say 7 feet would be probably a conservative estimate.
Have you heard about Clark McClellan's statement about that?
No.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Have you ever been in touch with him?
No.
No?
There is one image there that shows black people getting off.
So people with dark skin getting off.
Not dark, black.
Black skin.
Really black. Yeah.
Were they tall?
All right, y'all heard that. It's kind of low, but he said there's one image there with people getting off the ship that was black skinned. And she said, you mean brown skin? He said, no, black, really black. Let's see what Candace says. She said that book is going for $2,000. I ordered it from the library in Houston and had to wait 2 weeks to get it. Wow.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Hey. Wow. Wow.
That's what they do. They jump those prices up so we can't afford it.
Of course, they don't want you to read it. I mean, yeah, they don't want you to read it.
Oh, yeah, that's the one I see. Now, let me make sure I understand NASA's warning that there are spaceships around the rings of Saturn that go to and from different planets that are working their way towards Earth? That's a question.
Some of them have already come to Earth. That's what he was saying. That they recovered. They have pictures of a ship that came to Earth, and when the beings got off, he said they were about. She said, "Well, how tall were they?" He said, "I don't know how tall the door was." He said, "But the beings, if I had to make an estimate, were about 7 feet tall." And that's what he was saying, that they were really black. They're already here, Sister Sanaya. They are really running the governments here because those are the fallen angels. They are making sure that they get the people prepared for the battle with Yah. So all of this has to do with the children of Israel, the battle of Yah, and the fallen angels that came down here and did what they did. They've never gone anywhere. But now they're going to create an illusion like this is their first time coming. AB said a New Age religion group called Hollow Earth claims Christ's new name is Sananda, and he is on a 2-mile-long spacecraft above Earth called Ashtar Command. Please. Them people crazy. This is where we headed at. This is why the deception is going to be so great, is because so many people are not ready for this. When you go and ask the average Christian about a spaceship, period, they laugh you out the block.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's true.
So we need to get ready for them taking the Bible away, especially King James.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, because think about this. I ain't even going to say it. Let me read it to you. Hold on. Let me go to the next slide. Here we go. Watch what it says. It says hidden truth. Secondly, this information has been hidden from the public in a well-orchestrated and systematic embargo on the truth. The truth. Thirdly, government knows these conclusions are true. Researchers of this topic know these conclusions are true, and it is now for humanity to learn these truths. Here we go. We're going to hit this real quick because we got to show you what's going to happen. Disclosure is imminent. The statement added, disclosure activists contend that disclosure is already underway. UFO documents. Earlier this month, the Spanish Minister of Defense released a cache of previously classified UFO documents. Continue. Similar to the documents released by the Central Intelligence Agency in January of 2017, and similar to other documents released from governments in UK, Chile, and Mexico. So they have to start releasing this information, because if they don't, some of these people are going to end up dying because they're not going to be able to believe it. These are just some pictures that I came up with. Somebody did a really good drawing. I thought that was good. You know, they already have. Here's the big one right here. The next one. A fake rapture. Project Bluebeam. The infinite NASA Bluebeam project has 4 different steps in order to implement the New Age religion with the Antichrist at its head. Look at that. That's a hologram. Somebody made that in the sky. Look at that. It looked like a man hanging on the cross, don't it? Mm-hmm. People gonna see all this stuff and they gonna lose it. Because the first thing these people gonna say is, Jesus is coming. Oh God, Jesus is coming. The deception of the church. He said, beware, my children, of the Bluebeam Project rapture. I mean, the Bluebeam rapture, which is no rapture, for it is evil being caught away when they thought they were coming to behold the face of Jesus. Why? Very elect deceived. He said, I allowed them to be deceived, for if you were truly hearing from me, you would know your word. You would know even the very elect would be deceived. The plot of the enemy. He said, this is the plan. This is the plot of the enemy, just to show you what evil is. Not all who gather will be evil. Some just haven't heard the warning. See what we got. Some don't know how to hear my voice, so I tell you to warn them. For my son do have come, but the devil tries to go before him, so warn him. Test the spirits that speak. Yeah. Watch. Now watch this. Now check this out. Now let me ask you this question. What if they create a fake rapture? And what if they come and beam all these people up?
The church would be happy.
Yeah, but where they going? They ain't going to no heaven.
Right.
They're not going to go to heaven. All these people are disappearing off the earth.
Yeah,
they call it human trafficking, but these people are being disappeared off the earth. They're being taken off the earth, like the man said in the video. Earth is the people are the largest commodity that they have on the earth. That's just like the dream that I had when I told you I was at a party and I was in this sky rise, and wherever this building was, it was way up high. And I went out on the balcony and I saw something in the clouds, and when I looked and it turned on its side, it was a vehicle, and it scared me. And then I seen all this stuff flying in the air, and it was animals and everything. And the closer it got, it was people and animals. It was just like they was gathering for the ark of Noah's Ark. And all these people was excited, and they was smiling and grinning. I was looking like that cannot be good. And they're already trying to do population control too.
Right.
And they taking these people to other planets.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the Most High said what he said when he said this. If any of thine be driven out unto the outmost parts of heaven, from thence will the Most High thy Elohim gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. I said, how are they going to get there? Why would somebody take them there? And then it dawned on me, all of this is part of the deception. So if they create a fake rapture, and then they have the ability to beam you up, because they can beam you up, people get abducted all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about stories of being on these ships. What if something like that happens?
Yeah. Well, how could you be a part of a rapture when you don't believe in it?
I'm talking about the ones that do.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm talking about the ones who do believe in it. It's a whole lot of people, Sister Sanaya, that still believe in it.
Right.
In the church.
They still waiting on it, the whole church.
Mm-hmm. So what are they going to say? This is the day of the rapture, and all you rapture believers stand and, somewhere so you
they ain't got to say nothing. All they got to do is just come and poof, take them off the earth.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Done deal.
Done deal. They don't have to make no announcement, because that'll prove the fact that they'll make it believe that it was real.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're waiting on. Suddenly, all of a sudden, one is going to be taken and one is going to be left. One will be grinding in the field, two will be grinding in the field, one will be taken and one is going to be left.
Now, it's going to be interesting what the pastors will say after that, huh?
Right, when they ain't taken, when they don't take them.
Oh, they're going to be running after it.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, when you think about the reality of the deception, I'm just bringing you the possibilities of the deception. It's going to be great. This is just for the Christian church by itself. And guess what? If them men got off that ship and they was black, the Israelites, especially if he black and he got white hair, the Israelites is going to believe that's Yah.
Right.
So how do we tell the difference, though? How do we tell the difference? Like who's?
I knew somebody was going to ask me that. I was waiting on that question. How do we tell the difference?
Tell the difference on what?
And whether that's our ships or theirs.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Do you think they're going to come before the curse is up or after? Or right after the curse?
After. I think after, because then everybody be ripe and ready. Yeah.
Yeah, so what if they come after we have the day of repentance? And all of a sudden, all these vehicles and ships show up out of nowhere. The first thing people gonna say is, "That's Yah."
That's it.
He heard our cry.
Okay, can I ask a question regarding the scripture that says that one would be taking the other left? Because I've heard two different interpretations of that.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, I can answer it to the best of my ability.
So the one of the interpretation is. One is taken means destroyed. The one that left is the one that's going to be saved, and then the other one is vice versa. The one that's taken is going to be taken up, and the other one that's left is going to be destroyed.
Okay, let me ask you the question, and this is the $1 million question. I am so glad you asked that question, and I am so glad that this is going on the record. $1 million question, and this is just to you. Don't nobody else blurt out, because I want her to answer.
Okay.
How are the Israelites supposed to leave?
How are we supposed to leave the earth, or just leave?
No, how are we supposed to leave? How are we supposed to leave the lands of our captivity?
Well, y'all say he's going to regather us.
He's going to gather us right now. Is he taking us to heaven? Where is he taking us to?
Oh no, he's taking us. No, he's taking us to the wilderness.
We're supposed to leave by ship.
Guess what? We don't want to be. Everybody answering. Not just her to answer. Everybody. So do we want to be taken off the earth, or are we supposed to be going to the wilderness?
No, the wilderness.
So that's your answer.
Okay, so it means that the story. Okay, thank you.
By boats, by airplane, by
right.
Okay.
So we gonna
by ship. The way we came.
That's right. Some gonna be by ship. Some gonna be by boat. Some gonna be by however he does it. But the biggest thing that we have to realize is we're not leaving the earth.
So to those who believe that, oh wow, that's a great deception for those who think they're going straight to heaven. That's a great deception.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Wow. That's what I'm trying to say.
Wow.
Because guess what? They got them waiting on it. They've been waiting on it for a long time.
Okay.
Yep. They've been waiting on it for a long time. And then all of a sudden, here these ships show up. And then guess what? You don't see no shit because they clouds and they can be invisible like we said last week. And then all of a sudden millions of people just disappear off the face of the earth. They just gone. And it's all over the news. The rapture has taken place. The rapture has taken place. People have left the earth. Everybody's gone. Mothers is gone. Fathers is gone. Children are gone. Everybody's gone. Well, that's not even our exit strategy.
Right.
That's not the way it's going to happen for us yet. He's got to take Israel back to the place where we're supposed to be, because he's going to restore that order for Israel to go back to the land where they're supposed to be at, and that the land that we were in was going to be destroyed. Well, we just heard the Vice President of the United States of America say, at all costs, we're going to protect this land. At all costs, we ain't going nowhere. At all costs, as it is in heaven, or as it is on the earth, so shall it be in heaven. Old.
Wow.
Do you see the deception now?
Yeah. Yeah.
You see how subtle and serious it is now? You don't even have to show them a shit. All you got to do is see them beamed up. You don't have to show them no shit. All they got to do is be beamed up. That's all they got to do is be beamed up.
Wow.
It's crucial. They gone off the earth. They gone off the earth. I'm going to show you something real quick. I'm going to prove you that point in a minute. Let me show you something real quick because I got it already set up so we don't have to do it. Here we go. I'm going to make this big so you guys can see it. Before I play it, hold on, let me open up this screen. Watch, here we go.
The following program deals with a controversial subject. The theories expressed are not the only possible interpretation. Viewers are invited to make a judgment based on all available information.
For decades, scientists have been searching for incontrovertible proof that extraterrestrials exist. Many experts believe aliens may have visited Earth before and will inevitably descend upon us in the future. But more unsettling is the possibility that aliens are already here. Recent news reports suggest that China, Russia, and the U.S. are caught in a new high-tech space race.
You'll be dealing with hybrid armies, you'll be dealing with little green men, and you're going to be dealing with it all. And it's all going to be dealt with simultaneously.
A global effort has begun. Secret files hidden from the public for decades, detailing every UFO account, are now available to the public.
More than 100,000 government documents on UFO sightings are now available online.
The truth is out there, or is it?
The U.S. Air Force just released the files to a top-secret government program called the Project Blue Book, launched to investigate more than 12,000 UFO sightings.
Debate presidential candidate Dennis Kucinich said he'd seen one, so has Jimmy Carter. So did a pilot who traveled from Iran to Washington so he could speak out today about his encounter with the UFO. Now, unidentified flying object means just that, unidentified. It says nothing about what or from where. But for years now, polling has shown that a majority of Americans believe the government, our government, simply isn't telling all it knows about those lights in the sky, whatever they are.
It seemed to be a huge flying disc.
The now retired pilot is one of 14 men, mainly former government and military officials from 7 different countries, talking about their UFO experiences.
It disappeared in about 10 to 20 seconds.
This conference took place in Washington, and the cast of characters was almost strangely, well, conventional. One of the believers, former governor of Arizona, Fife Symington.
I saw something that defied logic and challenged my reality.
UFOs and close encounters have been reported around the world for decades in densely populated urban centers, along coastal areas, in rural farmland, and in barren deserts. But why are UFOs here? And what do they want? Insiders claim that the U.S. and other countries have already been secretly militarizing space. For 50 years, governments around the world have investigated UFO sightings. But just how are these top-secret studies conducted? Who is called upon to analyze the evidence? And why do many of these governments deny that they study UFOs? The United States government, among others, has formed many UFO investigative units dating back to the 1940s. After an unprecedented wave of UFO sightings in 1947, to establish a permanent presence in space, we developed the International Space Station. To service the space station and resupply it with food, experimental equipment, and astronauts, the U.S. successfully developed the Space Shuttle.
Could a Space Force exist? Absolutely. Could we hide it? Could the government hide that secret? Absolutely.
And we're keeping our to make a safer place to operate in for everybody's assets around the world, not just the U.S.'s assets. On an average tonight, we track unknown objects with the sensors, and we catalog them, or we send them to the Joint Space Operations Center, and they catalog them, and they start to track them, and we'll follow up and track them.
So as the commander of the Operations Squadron, my job is to operate the global positioning system to provide precise navigation and timing to the entire world.
This complex network consists of a constellation of 31 operational satellites.
My team, the operations group, brings the operations focus to global missile warning. I'm very fortunate in that I have outstanding leaders, outstanding airmen, well-trained to do a critical job. Our primary focus is missile warning for this nation. We have the 2nd Space Warning Squadron. We have the 11th Space Warning Squadron, Operations Group Detachment 1, the Op Support Squadron, and we have 8th Warning Squadron. We have the 460th Space Communications Squadron. We're dependent upon them to bring back that mission data from all around the world. And they ensure not only that our base comms are exceptional, but more importantly, all of that mission data gets where it needs to be at the speed of light.
If a Space Force exists, when and why was it created? Evidence may point to the existence of a secret, independent U.S. Space Force. But it's one thing to have a plan, and quite another to put it into action. In 2001, a hacker from the UK uncovers evidence that points to something many thought did not exist. UK IT expert Gary McKinnon allegedly gains illegal access to over 50 U.S. agency computer systems, including the secret NASA database.
According to him,
documentation that proved that not only were aliens real, not only was NASA scrubbing out UFOs in their photos, but also that there was this secret space force that existed that could potentially travel to other planets, or that there were military personnel that were currently in space.
Gary McKinnon alleges that NASA is actively involved in a massive cover-up. Many experts believe America has operated a secret space force for decades with ultra-high-tech ships designed for a wide array of space defense capabilities. A high-ranking retired Canadian defense minister shocks the world when he claims that the United States Space Force not only exists, but is armed and ready to attack. Hellier claims his concern for the security of planet Earth is the reason he has exposed the existence of a secret space force. Experts are divided on whether alien visitors are friend or foe. But ever since the first atomic bomb test on July 16, 1945, in Alamogordo, New Mexico, UFOs have been appearing in alarming numbers over top-secret nuclear weapons facilities. But what may have begun in New Mexico spread to all corners of the United States. Many other reports suggest that some UFOs are immune to Air Force defenses, but still have never attacked. This leads some UFO experts to wonder if aliens might be performing reconnaissance of Earth, or perhaps policing us, that UFOs are coming after planet Earth's most dominant resource, human. And what they may be after is still a mystery. Despite hundreds of thousands of alleged extraterrestrial sightings, there is no evidence that aliens have made open contact with humanity. But still, many wonder what first contact will be like.
If you need to defend your planet, put a base here, put a base there, put a base here, put a base there. It's simple logistics to warfare. Make sure you're protected from the outside. That way your enemy can't get in.
If a space force does exist, how far? Who controls it? And is it prepared to defend our world? If and when it does happen, first contact is bound to fundamentally shatter the world as we know it. Find out what the government doesn't want you to know.
All right, you guys. So what do you think about that? Hello?
All I can say is wow. Wow.
I mean, you know, like I said, when they come, how do you think they're going to? Now, they can come either one way. Because we're going to pray for y'all to come, and we know that he has vehicles, and we just talked about him having chariots, and, you know, they would either come before 2019 or to try to stop us from calling on y'all, or they're going to come right after 2019 when we call on him so that they can pretend to be y'all.
I have a question. I'm wondering how the spacecraft coming will intersect with the Nephilim coming up and eating people.
Well, you know, they all come together. That's all a part of the plan anyway. So, you know, that's all. That's when it said that woe unto the inhabitants of the earth, because it's going to be flooded with all kind of evil.
Which would make people
I don't know how they're going to be unleashed or when they're going to be unleashed. I have no idea what the sequence of order is going to be, but we know that that's going to be all a part of it. So that's going to be the end time tribulation of it all. But imagine people seeing this in the sky, especially Christian people, which is what they've been. Man, these people have just been bamboozled. If they was to see something like this in the sky, people would leave their jobs thinking they was going to get beamed up. And unfortunately, guess what? They're going to accommodate them. They're going to beam them up. Because the script, that's what Deuteronomy said. And guess what? That's what he meant when he said in Deuteronomy 30:4, if any of you be driven to the outermost parts of the earth, I'm gonna fetch you from there. That makes sense now.
Yeah, that does. It really does.
It makes sense now, don't it? The whole deception thing. For a whole church to be raptured away because you wait on somebody to scoop you up off the earth. Boy. I'm so glad I woke up from all that. I don't know what to do. All right, let's go back to the scripture and see what it said. Let's go back here where it say. Here we go again. Biblical proof. This is biblical proof that somebody's not going to be on the earth. This is biblical proof that when Yah comes back to get us, he's going to have to gather some of us from off of different places. Biblical proof, Deuteronomy chapter 30, Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 4 and 5. It said, if any of thine be driven out unto the outmost parts of heaven, from thence will the Most High thy God gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. And thence means there. From there will the Most High thy Elohim gather thee, and from there will he fetch thee. Watch. Wow. And he said, bring you back to the earth. He said, and the Most High thy Elohim will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers. That makes a whole lot of sense now, don't it?
Yes. Wow.
I was like,
wow.
I was like,
what was that? Deuteronomy 30. What verse was that?
Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 4 and 5.
You said.
Let me ask you a question. Will that just be Israelites that he'll bring back from out there, or everybody that's out there?
He said, bring you back into the land of thy fathers. That's Israelites.
That's right. That thy fathers possessed. That's that million black brothers that's missing.
Oh,
they got home. They got home.
You had said. You said that this deception would happen before we went back into the land.
Yeah.
And and one of the things I'm thinking about, I've been dismissing this, but I read about September the 23rd, and they keep saying the rapture. They're looking for the rapture. So they're saying that child being born is representative of the rapture, and I keep saying no. But if this is in fact the deception, that would actually be consistent. Because you have all of these people looking for it. And then an event happens and they say, there it is, the sign in the sky, we're being raptured. But it's a deception because that it is.
That's crucial. Isn't that crucial?
I've just been but listening to this.
And what if September the 23rd something happens and people gone? They predicting that something going to happen and people gone.
See something, but I know it's not correct. But
exactly.
That's the dominant thing that's being associated with September 23rd is the rapture.
I don't even know. I believe you. I haven't even seen that, but I believe you.
I haven't.
Especially after this, I believe you. This is serious business. That's why they said the deception is going to be great. And they talking about doing population control too. And they already got access to other planets where they can take you to different planets. And they said they're trying to get the largest commodity that the earth has is the people. And these people is already in church shouting, talking about they're going to heaven. And everywhere in the scripture that we read that the Most High has taken us is to the wilderness.
Right.
And they shouting and jumping and spitting and screaming. No, I'm cool. I'm going to stay right here on this earth. Because y'all never said that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a lot of things that have to happen, but boy, that is some serious stuff right there. And he already said he gonna come and get you. He knows you're going to be there. me read that again. If any of thine, he meant Israel, be driven out unto the outmost parts of heaven, from there will the Most High thy Elohim gather thee, and from there will he fetch thee. Somebody said, is that Israel? Let's see. He said, bring you back to earth, and the Most High thy Elohim will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it. And he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers.
Nehemiah 1:9 also precept that too.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That is serious business right there. Mm. Crucial. And then the ones that's left, guess what they're going to get? The new one world religion. They're going to combine them all into one. Watch. New Age religion. We must remember that the New Age religion is the very foundation of the New World government, without which religion, the dictatorship of the New World Order is completely impossible. He said, I'll repeat that. Watch what he said. Universal belief. Without a universal belief in the New Age religion, the success of the New World Order will be impossible. That is why the Blue Beam Project is so important to them, but has been so well hidden until now. One world religion. It will possible for the scientists to rediscover those arcane mysteries, which will be used to discredit all fundamental religious doctrines.
Wow.
Right there. They're gonna tear it up. They're gonna tell them all. We created all the religions. That's for the people that's left. We created all the religions. We're the ones who made you. We're the ones who created the religions for you so we could organize you, and now we've come so you don't have to worry about it because we're going to rule over you now. Project Blue Beam. The Project Blue Beam conspiracy theory claimed through NASA the U.S. government will one day use hologram technology to create a false paranormal event such as a UFO invasion or even a second coming in order to introduce new control on us all. Mm-hmm. Impending invasion. While the Daily Star reports ufologists believe space agencies may have been sent UFOs into the sky in order to prepare people on Earth for an impending invasion of extraterrestrial life. NASA posted photos online of rocket launches and different things like that. So here's the rocket launches, and these are supposed to be the spaceships. Oh. Here we go. I'm going to get through this. We're almost done. Nation of Islam. After hearing of Louis Farrakhan's trip to the mothership that circled above the earth were the inhabitants of the mothership, watch what he said, told him that Bush breached the levees purposefully to kill all black people, I decided to do a bit of reading about the Nation of Islam. This is what he said. The many religions. I was intrigued to find that in the beginning its teachings are not actually that of the Quran, but a mix of Islam, influence from Jehovah's Witness teaching, Gnosticism, and heretical Christian teaching. And it says the teaching. Some Wallace Farad, Louis Farrakhan's real name is Louis Eugene Walcott, teaching black people are gods. Some special gods will live for 100 years each. He said, if harmed or threatened, there is an aircraft built by black scientists in Japan thousands of years ago that cannot be detected by radar and circles the earth with weapons that will be used to kill white people if the Nation of Islam is harmed or threatened. A mother plane. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us of a giant mother plane that is made like the universe, spheres within spheres. UFOs. White people call them unidentified flying objects. Ezekiel in the Old Testament saw a wheel that looked like a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. He says, Nippon, now called Japan. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the wheels was built on an island of Nippon, which is now called Japan, by some of the original scientists. It took $15 billion in gold at that time to build it, and it is made of the toughest steel. It's circular. America does not yet know the composition of the steel used to make an instrument like it. It is a circular plane, and the Bible says it never makes turns. 1,500 small wheels. Because of its circular nature, it can stop and travel in all directions at speeds of thousands of miles per hour. He said there are 1,500 small wheels in this mothership, which is a half a mile by a half a mile. Human-built planet. This mother wheel is like a small human-built planet. Each one of these small planes carries 3 bombs. The bombs. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that they have a type of bomb that when it strikes the earth, a drill on it is timed to go into the earth and explode at the height that you wish the mountain could be. The mountain, at the height that you wish the mountain to be. That makes a lot of sense. The effects, the bombs these planes have are timed to go 1 mile down and bring up a mountain 1 mile high, but it will destroy everything within a 50 square mile radius. Now, this is what the Muslims believe.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they believe is going to happen. Any questions? We're almost done. False benevolence. Here we go. Savior of mankind. What better way for the powers of darkness to reveal themselves than as the technological savior of mankind? The world of the occult openly embraces UFO and alien extraterrestrials. NASA brings scientists and theologians together to prepare world for extraterrestrial contact. The Pope is declared the aliens are coming, apparently. And you know this guy. Now, all these people is working together. All these people got the same agenda. False benevolence. The occult will always proclaim these beings as benevolent. The alien contact always speaks of things that contradict the Bible. Mm-hmm. We made you. The Bible wasn't real. Deception for Christianity. The consistent theology of the extraterrestrial is Antichrist. The consistent message of the alien is hostile to Christianity. The high-tech extraterrestrials are demons. This is the only consistent scientific and biblical sound explanation. The whistleblowers. The past few years has seen a surge of whistleblowers coming out and saying some pretty remarkable things. Bradley Manning, Edward Snowden, and Julian Assange have received the most attention, but the reality is that there are hundreds of whistleblowers who have come forward with verifying credentials and backgrounds that are saying that this stuff is real. It says mass surveillance and security states are not the only thing shocking people around the world. It's the fact that many of these whistleblowers claim that we are not alone in the universe, which we know.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Which we know. We know that. Any questions? We almost finished. Anybody have anything to say? Y'all got quiet on me. Woo! Everybody is quiet. All right, let's see what we got here. Here we go. UFOs are real. He said, behind the scenes, high-ranking Air Force officials are soberly concerned about UFOs. But through official secrecy and ridicule, many citizens are led to believe the unknown flying objects are nonsense. Absolutely.
Wow.
And this is what it's going to look like when they leave. And imagine this behind the cloud and can't nobody see the vehicle, but you getting caught up.
Mm.
Yep. That's crucial.
Wow.
Isn't that crucial?
Yeah.
Right, right.
Now, what's going to happen to those people when they get caught up in those spaceships?
My question.
They do. Eat them. I don't know. I don't even want to. I don't want to go, so I don't know. I mean, you know, they guess what, Sister Sanaya? Think it not strange that the Most High is allowing, and imagine, in this country where we have freedom of speech, we know for an assurity that we don't have the same laws as the other people of the other nations. But just it's ironic that at a time such as this, he allows our black men to be on the street corners of almost every city talking about it's time for us to go, it's time for us to leave. It's like the prophets are yelling out. You know what I'm saying? Right. Not that I agree with everything that they say, but the meat of the message that we're Israelites is phenomenal, that they're on every street corner yelling this out to the people. And some people accept it and some people walking by it. Think it not strange that the Most High is allowing this to happen. You know, it's just amazing.
Right.
For such a time as this.
Mhm. That's right.
For such a time as this. And they just out there, you know, we Israelites.
Wow.
You know, that's just y'all. That ain't nobody but y'all to get the people to understand who we are so that they can understand that we have a totally different agenda than the rest of the world. But they still in the churches. You all know we got family members that's in the church. They still huckamashanda and spitting and shouting and running, and they looking at you with one eye open and one eye closed because they know it's some validity to what you're saying, but they just don't want to give up what they're doing.
Right.
I don't want to go with them. I don't know what's going to happen to them. I feel sorry for them, you know, because I would hate to be caught up and think that everybody else was wrong, and then you get to where you're going, and it ain't where you think you're supposed to be.
Right.
Whoa, that's going to be ugly. Can you imagine? There's nowhere in this Bible that the Most High tells you that he is taking you to heaven.
Right.
That's right. That's true.
But we still believe it because that man put on that black cloak on Sunday and he go stand up on that pulpit and it's like, whoa. And they won't hear nothing you got to say. They won't hear a doggone thing you got to say. Right. They will walk past you like you talking crazy, like you have lost your mind. Jesus is coming to get me.
You know, I saw something on the news the other day. Actually, it was on my Facebook thing, but I saw it on the news. And they had this girl, and she was in this car, and she was all badly injured and everything, and the firemen, policemen couldn't use the utensils to get her out. And so some guy walked up, and he was a priest with a collar, and he asked if he could pray with them and anointed her with oil. And so these people on the news believe that that was an angel. And I said, no, it wasn't, because it went totally against what the Bible talked about. It wouldn't be a priest because God doesn't endorse any particular religion. It would have been just a regular man. And that anointing oil is only supposed to be used by the priest on the priest's head, not on anybody, and it was supposed to be used on the altar. It was supposed to contain myrrh and a couple of other ingredients and particular components of those ingredients. But if you're not reading that Bible and you're not reading that book, these people running around thinking that is an angel and thinking that's from God, and it's not. It's so important that we got to be in this scripture.
I mean, you know, you said a mouthful. You said a mouthful. You are so right. And that's what knowing does for you. When you know, you can look at that stuff and be like, that ain't right.
Yeah. But before I came in the truth, I probably would have thought that. But now since I'm in it, I'm like, no, you can't run that past me. But, I mean, they got all kind of people. But, I mean, just like you said, they're here. They're here. Yeah. They're here already. And nobody, and they were taking pictures, but it's not on anybody's film. They don't know where that being came from.
Ain't no
That's
telling.
On the news.
Ain't no telling. No telling at all. No telling. Ain't no telling what he did to her when he touched her. Ain't no. That's why I don't. you something. I don't even play. People may think I'm weird, but I bring my own food, my own water, everything to work. It's like, I'm not eating nothing. No.
Right.
No. No offense meant. No. I mean, for real.
Nope.
It's like, nope. Sorry. This is serious business here for real. You know what I mean?
It is.
And they playing for keeps. They trying to take us out the game, and it's like, nope, and no. I'm not going to do it. No. It's serious. Let me get past these. I got a few more slides, and then we're going to finish for the day. Nick Pope, Minister of Defense, he said no world government is prepared at all for a potential alien invasion. He said none of them have the capabilities to prepare. He said no contingencies planned. He said speaking ahead of the March DVD release of the sci-fi movie Arrival about an alien visitation to Earth, Pope added, there's no contingencies planned as far as I am aware. Now watch what the Most High say. He said, kill the heathen. Habakkuk chapter 3, verse 12 through 16. He said, thou didst march through the land in indignation. Thou didst thresh the heathen in anger. He said, the house of the wicked. He said, thou wentest forth for the salvation of thy people, even for salvation with thine anointed. Thou wounded the head out of the house of the wicked by discovering the foundation unto the neck. Selah. It said, with his staves. Thou didst strike through with his staves the head of his villages. They came out as a whirlwind to scatter me. Their rejoicing was as to devour the poor secretly. With thine horses, thou didst walk through the sea with thine horses, through the heap of great waters. He said, and when I heard, my belly trembled, my lips quivered at the voice. Rottenness entered into my bones, and I trembled in myself, that I might rest in the day of trouble. When he cometh up unto the people, he will invade them with his troops. So Yah is coming. It's not a question of he coming, but like they said, they coming too. It says the enemy realizes it's Yah. In confusion, at least some of Yah's enemies will kill each other, yet they will ultimately realize that it is Yah who is fighting against them. Watch what he said. Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 21 through 23. He said, they shall fight each other. He said, and I will call for a sword against them throughout all my mountains, saith the Most High Elohim. Every man's sword shall be against his brother. He said, just like Egypt, I will plead against him with pestilence. Didn't he do that in Egypt? With blood. I will rain upon him and upon his bands and upon the many people that are with him, and overflowing rain and great hailstone, fire and brimstone. Didn't he do that to Egypt?
He did that.
Yes.
Watch what he say. And they shall know, he said, thus I will magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I will be known in the eyes of many nations, and they shall know that I am the Most High Yah.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. So this is the conclusion of the message. I don't want to give you too much because I gave you a lot today. But when you understand the things that we have to go for, we really have to know the scriptures, because only like the sister said, in knowing the scriptures, you can't be fooled.
Right.
My mom even said it one day. She said, I really can't wait until the Most High come and get us. I can't wait till Jesus come and get us. I said, well, and take you where? And she just looked at me like, don't start that mess. I said, but you know better. I said, ain't nobody going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere.
You know the scripture that they use? I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. What you need?
I said, you know the scripture that they use for that they're going to heaven is in 1 Thessalonians 4:16 and 18.
I understand that, but guess what? Let me say this, and I want to put this on the record. I believe the whole Bible. So I believe there will be a catching away, but that's so way down the line. That's so way down the line from the things that's going on here. We're talking about when we are gathered to be taken back to the land. I have a whole different concept of how long that's going to be that we're going to be in that land.
Right.
Now I do, especially when the scripture talks about the unwalled cities. You know, and it's like, well, wait a minute, how are we going to go in there and be in there for be in the wilderness for 3.5 years, and then somebody's going to come behind us and try to take us in the unwalled villages? How is that going to happen? Because we're supposed to leave the wilderness and go right into Jerusalem. But that's not what the scripture says. Let me go to that. It's Ezekiel chapter, I think it's Ezekiel chapter 38. Let me pull it up. Because I don't think it's going to happen right away. Ezekiel chapter 38. Let's see what it says. Here we go. And let's see. We'll turn my back to after many days visited now. Okay, here we go. It says, verse number 10. He said, thus saith, I'm going to open up the screen. Thus saith the Most High Elohim, it shall also come to pass that at that same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think evil in thy thoughts. He's talking to the other nations now. He said, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having bars nor gates, to take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thy hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods, that dwelleth in the midst of the land. So there is somewhere that we're going to be. And then watch at 13, it says, Sheba and Dedan and the merchants of Tarshish with all the young lions thereof shall say unto thee, art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered thy company to take a prey, to carry away the gold, the silver and gold, and to take away the cattle and the goods, to take a great spoil? And that's what he says, Son of man, prophesy and say unto God, thus saith the Most High, in that day, when my people of Israel shall dwell safely, shall thou not know it? So we got to be in a place in the last days where we're living and we're dwelling safely, and this thing is not over with yet. It's too much stuff that has to happen.
Could that be after the 1,000 years?
No, we ain't even got to that yet. This is before any of that. I believe this is around when he brings us back over into Jerusalem into the land. Now, where we're going to be in that particular spot, I'm not sure. It says, 15 says, and thou shalt come from thy place out of the north parts, and thou and many people with thee, all of them riding upon horses, a great company and a mighty army. And thou shalt come up against my people of Israel as a cloud to cover the land. And it shall be in the latter days, and I will bring thee against my land, that the heathen may know me when I shall be sanctified in thee, O God, before their eyes. So I'm saying that's a whole nother lesson by itself. But it just doesn't. I think people trying to rush this thing.
Right.
I think people are trying to rush this thing, and they're trying to make things happen too fast. But wherever we're going, which I believe is going to be wherever he has us been, I think we're going to go to the wilderness. We're going to purge out the rebels, and those that make it through the wilderness will be these people who dwelleth safely in the last days. And we're going to be in an unwalled city and have wealth and cattle and silver and gold and all of those things. And then, like the scripture said, the Most High Gog is going to try to come up against us. And he said, you come up if you want to, because I got something for you. So I think there's a lot of things that have to happen first. I think we jumping the gun with a lot of the information that we've been given. But if we just slow down and back up and go through these scriptures very carefully, you will realize there's a lot of things that have not yet been fulfilled. And that's a whole nother deception of the church, because they tell you the Old Testament has been fulfilled. How?
Right.
It clearly states again that these are the people that he brought from out of the nations. That's exactly what it said. Take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thy hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited. So there's people now in this desolate place. And upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods, that dwelleth in the midst of the land. Because we have to have a chance to be able to teach the other nations about Yah. We're not really doing that now.
Right.
Any questions? I'm gonna take the close the screen. Well, I can leave that open. It doesn't matter. Does anybody have any questions of any kind? I'm going to end the recording. I'd like to thank you all for joining us this evening. We're going to end the recording. This will be on YouTube tonight once the sun goes down. I'll have a new clip put on YouTube. I hope you all have enjoyed this class, and it has shed some light on the deception.
Right.
And we will continue to do some more next week. Shalom, shalom, everybody. And